Britain is in turmoil. Just this month, nearly 200,000 people marched through London in the largest anti-immigration protest since World War II, led by activist Tommy Robinson. This mass anger isn't just about jobs or borders. It's fueled by one of Britain's darkest secrets, the decades-long grooming gang scandal. For over 30 years, organized networks, mainly of Pakistani Muslim men, have systematically targeted and sexually exploited thousands of vulnerable, mostly white, British girls. The 2014 Jay report exposed what many tried to hide. At least 1,400 children were abused in Rotherham between 1997 and 2013. Similar gangs have operated in cities like Telford, Oxford, Rochdale, and Derby. In Telford alone, up to 1,000 children were abused over 4 decades. Recent audits revealed grooming gang activities in 85 towns stretching back to the 1960s. White girls aged 11 to 16 were picked out for vulnerability, often from troubled homes or foster care. Typical tactics began with gifts, affection, and attention, then escalated to isolation, drugging, and rape by multiple perpetrators. Victims were made to feel this abuse was normal growing up. One survivor revealed they had a list of girls. After each rape, they ticked the girl's name off. Another said she was raped over 100 times by men from all over the UK. These aren't isolated incidents. According to official data, 1 in 1,700 Pakistani men over 16 in England and Wales have been prosecuted for grooming gang offences since 1997. In Rotherham, that figure spikes to 1 in 73. The Casey report found that 62% of people convicted in Rotherham's notorious Operation Stovewood were Pakistani men. In West Yorkshire, 62% of identified suspects in group child exploitation were Pakistani origin. Yet, Pakistanis make up just 2.7% of the UK population. That's massive overrepresentation in such a disgusting crime. But here's what the media rarely tells you. Hindus have virtually no representation among grooming gang perpetrators. Multiple academic studies, as well as government reports, show a negative correlation between the Hindu population in an area and the incidence of group-based child sexual exploitation. Simply put, areas with more Hindus had fewer grooming crimes. The only notable exception on record is Amer Singh Dhaliwal, a Sikh, not a Hindu, convicted for leading the Huddersfield grooming gang. His case is universally condemned and stands alone. Meanwhile, girls and young women of Hindu and Sikh backgrounds have also been targeted for abuse, especially because abusers believed cultural shame would keep them silent. So, how did Britain allow this scale of abuse? The answer is chilling. Authorities failed these girls again and again. Police officers dismissed survivors, sometimes claiming the abuse was consensual or just a teenage phase. Social services and council staff feared being called racist and chose denial over action. Even when whistleblowers sounded alarms, investigations were quietly closed after the 7/7 attacks to avoid stoking racial tensions. The Casey report and other government audits confirm there were 15 years of institutional denial and collective failure. Hundreds of cases remain unexamined, with many men still at large. A deeper injustice persists. In official reports, police statements, and media coverage, perpetrators are routinely labelled as Asian or South Asian, not Pakistani Muslim. This blanket descriptor wrongly implicates Indians, Nepalis, and Sri Lankans who are categorically not involved in these crimes. Krishna Bhan, chair of Hindu Council UK, stated, "We are dismayed that the PM chose to whitewash this heinous atrocity with the word Asian. Our Hindu and Sikh girls were also their victims." This lazy labelling has real consequences, painting law-abiding Indian origin men with suspicion, undermining their achievements and fueling Hinduphobia. Interestingly, the root of this problem is not in Britain but America. In American universities, there's been a systematic push to mainstream the term South Asian and erase the distinct Indian identity. In California, faculty lobbied for all references to India before 1947 to be replaced by South Asia, and references to Hinduism to become religion of ancient India. 36 edits targeted erasing India or Hinduism from textbooks. The term South Asia barely existed before the 1950s, when it was popularized by CIA-funded academia. Why? To lump Indians, Pakistanis, Bangladeshis, and others together, diffusing national identity, diluting achievements, and burying crimes in a fog of academic neutrality. When Britain's institutions use South Asian as a catch-all label for grooming gangs, they obscure the reality. These crimes are overwhelmingly perpetrated by Pakistani Muslim men. At the same time, innocent Hindus, Sikhs, and Indians suffer reputational damage and social suspicion for crimes they neither committed nor condone. This mislabeling means that as anti-immigrant sentiment rises, as seen at Tommy Robinson's rally, innocent families face increased risk and prejudice at precisely the moment public anger is at its highest. So, critical question remains: was the push to mainstream the South Asian label in academia and institutions a deliberate attempt to erase Indian achievements and diffuse blame for Pakistani origin crimes? When criminals act, South Asians get the blame. But when Indians excel in medicine, technology, and academics, their credit is diluted by the same term. To solve problems, we need precise words. Pakistani Muslim men are overwhelmingly overrepresented in grooming scandals. Hindus are virtually absent. These are facts, not opinions. Until Britain, indeed the world, can speak this truth without fear or euphemism, justice will remain elusive. Innocent communities will bear unfair burdens, and more children will be at risk. The least we can do is name the reality, stand with the victims, and protect the innocent. The story the media won't tell you. Now you know.